Hey, what's up, everyone? How's everyone doing? Absolutely crazy markets, right? Whoa, craziness. Hope you guys are in my channel. If you're not, join t.me Athena Education. Yesterday around 4 o'clock my time, which is around 26 hours ago or so right now, I sent out a distress signal to all the people that use our platform, as well. Hours before that, I had said that the market looks really sketchy and I'm going to take out 50%, hedge out. That was proved to be a very smart decision, but there's reasons for that, and I'm actually going to show you today where we're actually going and what to actually expect next. So don't leave this video until the end, because I'm literally going to show you today one thing you probably haven't been shown yet, and something that you want to actually see to know kind of where we're actually on our way to, and why we're not needing to freak out, and why panic sellers can panic, but you shouldn't. Okay, so don't leave us to the end of the video. If you're watching this and your first time here, click on that like button, smash them up, you know the drill, and click on that subscribe button if you have not been here. I'm definitely going to drop some cool knowledge bombs on you guys today, and I hope that you'll really enjoy that. If you'd like, guys, and you're watching on Facebook or any other platforms, jump on over here to this platform over on YouTube, which is... And the reason why I say that is because we do contests, and in this contest every single day that we're gonna do every week. What we'll be doing is giving away a free month access to Athena Education. So if you guys are watching, go on to the YouTube link. I threw that into Facebook. If you're watching on Twitter, just click on the link and get into the YouTube channel so that you can comment. We're looking for comments, likes, and then what we're gonna do is pick randomly at the end of this episode who won the last prize. So let me jump in and go and talk about what's been happening in the market, kind of ease your worries, and give you guys some perspective on where we're actually about to go. So let me say hello to everyone. How's it going? Travis, Steven, David, and Richard. Anyone else who's watching, don't be shy. Say hello, type in that box. And one other thing to really remember is that, you know, this is your time, kind of. Every Monday and Friday I do the AMA. The AMA is not for me, it's for you. That's why I do it live. So ask away any questions that you have. And how low will we go? Wait till about 10 minutes from now. I'm going to tell you, so don't go anywhere. First, I'm going to go over a couple things that happen in the market, and I want you guys to really have perspective on these things, because they actually do affect a lot of what's happening in our industry. So let's jump right into that and get started. First thing I want to say is how hypocritical of JP Morgan with their whole publicity that Bitcoin was used for criminals, and then a few days later, as we saw last week, their boat was found with about 31,000 pounds of cocaine, worth over $1 billion. So yes, Bitcoin's the one to worry about here. Let's be serious. Here's something else that's really, really important for all of you guys to have perspective on and understand. This is actually going to affect many of you that watch this show that have banking at Wells Fargo. So last year in 2018, Wells Fargo said you can't use your credit card to buy crypto because it's very volatile and you could lose a lot of money. I totally agreed with that. That made sense. You know, you can't go to casinos and constantly use your credit card and max it out in many places. So this made sense because it's kind of a protection for you. But here's the big but. Why are they not allowing you to spend your own money? So people said, and didn't read this when I posted on Twitter yesterday, and it got actually reposted by guys like Dan Runer and Max Kepler and all these guys. They were reposting it because it's so vital and important to actually understand that when you have a bank that you work your money, you work your ass off for all this money, right? Think about this. You work for that money and you take your cash in your pocket and you go and you deposit your own $1,000 into a bank, right? Then the bank tells you, well, you know, we can't let you use that money to buy cryptocurrency, but it's your money. It's your money. This is not them telling you you can't, borrow their money. This is your own money that this Wells Fargo bank is saying you cannot actually spend. This is really a nasty precedent to set by this bank, and I really hope that either they do a complete U-turn on this, and even if they don't, them trying to say that they protect you is the whole problem with all of this stuff, where we're protecting you. They're not protecting you, guys. What they're doing is they're controlling you. They should never be able to tell you where you spend your money. This is really important to know yourself If you bank with Wells Fargo, you should be boycotting them 110%. Also, they're closing people's accounts down as well. Rain Down, what does it say? What do you think of MEFX, which is advertisement on that website? Oh, I didn't even see that. Where is it? MEFX. I can barely see that. Join. I don't know. I've never used this. I've never read into the blockchain fund. You know, managing by a professional trading desk. I don't know. I haven't really had that idea. But yes, people need to stop, as David just said, stop using Wells Fargo. It's a bad precedent, guys. I'm telling you, the second you let them start letting you buy that, is they're gonna stop letting you buy sugary drinks. It's a slippery slope. So getting on to a couple more things before we jump in the charts. If you're waiting for the charts, guys, we're literally 2 slides away. Just give me a minute and we'll get to it. So this is really interesting, and I actually responded to CZ about this because I found this kind of odd. He said that retail investors, not institutions, were leading the bull market. I don't believe that at all. And I'll tell you why I don't believe that. Because when retail comes into the market, you have multi-billions of dollars come into the market. And honestly, we saw a lot of billions come in the market. We almost hit 390 billion. But what I'm trying to say here is retail investors were not leading this charge. It's not felt like new people have come in. Most of my friends that would have asked me haven't really started asking me again about Bitcoin because it hasn't reached all-time highs. And when it does reach all-time highs, I will believe it. But he's talking about just on Binance itself, which kind of makes sense that the retail investors would go on to Binance and buy. But Binance, honestly, compared to OTC and all the other exchanges, it is a big amount of capital, but it is not the biggest amount of capital, you know? It's probably mostly retail investors he's talking about, people that already trade and owned Bitcoin before. Really likely. Okay. So yeah, guys, submit some comments. What do you guys think about this whole Wells Fargo thing? Do you think that this is a slippery slope? Do you think this is good for retail investors? What do you really think? I'm really curious. Don't be shy to throw a comment down there. And even if you're shy and you want to watch this later, that's okay. I'll read it later and I'll respond to you. So definitely don't be shy to do that. The last really big thing that I wanted to talk about was this draft of big tech being banned. This is really a shot at who? It's a shot at the Libra. Now, why is it shot at Libra? It's because, and we also have Trump who's saying he doesn't like crypto, but everyone he hires is pro-crypto. So I believe that's a misleading and misguided thing that he's doing there. So I wouldn't really take too much of that into consideration if I was you guys. I wouldn't be like, oh no, Trump hates crypto. I don't believe that. He keeps hiring people that are pro-crypto in his staff. So this should something that I think he's misleading people a little bit, or he just hates Libra enough that he says he hates Bitcoin. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Question, Wells has always sucked, but sadly I'm stuck in it for the moment. Well, Steven, you know, it's really funny because as much as you're stuck in it, you're also not stuck in it. You can always get out of that, and you know, it's gonna come, and it will happen at some point. So the US drafts this bill that says basically that no tech company can create their own currency, basically like stopping anyone from having a digital asset or cryptocurrency. And this is really interesting because I think it's just a direct draft of a bill to stop big tech or Facebook to launch a digital asset. So they're writing this up. I don't believe this will actually happen. I don't believe it'll actually go through, but you guys can read this. I posted all the links in here in the bottom of this video. So later you go have a read through the whole entire bill, and what they're actually trying to do is basically stop people from doing what they want to, trying to stop new cryptocurrencies from being created. Okay, so now the part that you guys are here for, what the hell is going on with BTC? Where the heck is it going? And what should you come to expect? So I'm going to show you a couple different things, starting off with Bitcoin's dominance. Now, if we look at Bitcoin's dominance, at one point recently, today I believe, we hit a top of 69.3%. Now, I don't know if you guys look at the BTC dominance, but that's almost the top it's ever been since we had the ICO boom. That's insane, okay? The reason why you see it up here so much, let me just turn off the hold on, let me turn off the Ichimoku here for a second. Let's look at it really plain. The reason why you see it up here is that was only really when only BTC existed. Some ICOs started, you know, with ETH and stuff. And then like BTC stuck up really, really strong in December 2017 when it hit its top. Then it dropped, ICOs went up, and then we obviously know what happened after that. So it's really interesting to see now that Bitcoin is at this really extreme dominance level when alts have not recovered. Everyone thought alt season would follow Bitcoin dropping. It hasn't. First piece of information to look at. Second piece of information to look at. Our total market cap in the whole entire market for crypto. Now, this is also very interesting, and it looks a lot like Bitcoin, like I've shown you guys in the past. But what I find the most interesting about this is how much we've actually lost in total market cap overall. We lost from the very top, we hit 389 billion. We have lost a total of market cap wise at the bottom about 35%. Now, Bitcoin generally does like these 50% corrections, so I don't believe this is over. We're not at the bottom yet. But it's possible. I have like this 20% chance that it could be, and I'll show you why I say that, but I really don't believe that. And what you're seeing right now from 9,800 to 10,300, 400 is a relief rally. So relief rallies work like this. A relief is basically when the market goes, oh, I need a break, right? It's like after running a really hard sprint. So, you know, it's sprinted super fast down, it's catching its breath up, the bears are catching their breath, the bulls come and like take the lead on the next lap, and then, you know, the guy gets his second win and he crushes it into the end. This is what we're starting to see, and that's why we've dropped so drastically. So another thing to also look at is our CME gaps, and I've shown you this before, but I'm going to continue to show you things like this so you understand what we're looking at. So here we've closed we started and we dropped this huge amount. We have to close this gap, so we have to come up at some point and close the gap that happened right here. So this is what a CME gap looked like. It's like when we have a gigantic gap from close on Friday to open, and so this is what it looks like. Close to open, yeah, closed to open. So we had a pretty big gap. We can look at it even just like this and say that was the gap, but it's a pretty big gap, right? So we're gonna have to close that. And I mean, that was at 11.3 and we're now at 10,000. We opened, let's see, just let me look on the candle directly. We opened at 10,900. So there's a $400 gap that has to close at some point. So we're gonna see the market eventually rally. But we saw all the other gaps got filled. This gap got filled here, and this one got filled here. But we still have this one, this nice big juicy gap, and it will play into what I'm gonna tell you guys next. So don't go anywhere, okay? This is another huge gap we never filled, and gaps in the past have always filled. Okay, what that means is when we close on a Friday and we open on a Monday, if there is a huge discrepancy in price, as you can see, it's called a gap. We have a gap in the actual market. Now, usually they fill. This one filled, that one filled. So usually they will fill. Now, here's what's really interesting here, and I'm gonna go in deeper than this right now. Like even this one, you see that one also filled. This one hasn't filled yet. And what we're gonna look for is for this one to potentially fill. Now, let me show you why. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to show you guys what happened on the last bull run to give you some perspective of why I'm not freaking out yet. Actually, I'm not freaking out at all. I just know what's going to happen next, very likely, based off of probabilities, and I feel like the casino right now, not the player at the casino. And here I'll show you why. So the last bull run, we touched the weekly Kijun 4 times until we dropped on the 5th one. Okay. We haven't even touched it once on this bull run, not once, okay? So in these corrections, we're talking on the weekly chart, right? So these corrections that happened, that was a 40% correction. This correction was a 35% correction. This correction over here was, let me just show you guys. Hold on a sec. Why is it not working? Okay, this one was a 30% correction. This one up here was a 40% correction. And then we had our last big correction. We hit the top, kind of looks similar to what we have on the market right now. And we had a 50%, and then we just didn't really rally back. Okay, so that was the last bull run from a week to week perspective. So now we know what's going on with Bitcoin, right? What do we have to expect? I'm gonna show you 2 probable outcomes that will happen. So just bear with me for a second, and if you have questions, please don't feel shy to ask them because it's really important. And also don't leave till the end. I've got other stuff. And if you have questions about certain coins in the market, where they might go, throw them in the chat box on YouTube or on Facebook, doesn't matter. But remember, the more comments you guys have, the more chances you have to win. Keep that in mind. Now, where we are today. Okay, so here's where our weekly Kijun is, right there. You see this green line, or sorry, this pink line here, purple line. It's around 8,500. Okay, and our weekly Tenkin is around 88.39. Now let's go back to this chart and look at where we were here. On this chart, our gap was from 89.80 and all the way down till 85.30. Go back to here. Our weekly is between 85.25 and 87.99. So could we fill this gap? Very likely. Okay, if we're gonna follow what we followed in the past. So if we have this correction go all the way down, look at where it lands, about 38%, 38 to 40%. Okay, now could it go further? Possibly. I don't believe we'll get all the way down here, but it could go down to the 200 EMA, which is at 4,789. These are possibilities, but very, very low probabilities for it to happen. Okay, how's it going, Casey? Would love more thoughts on ETH, please. USD and BTC pairings. What about Litecoin before the halving? I'll show you guys again what happened, what I said would happen very likely before the halving, and what happened last time before the halving, to give you guys some perspective on where Litecoin also will be going. So now we see that, right? Now, if we see that and we do break through the cloud and touch the weekly Kijun, which is what it always wants to do. Look at this, okay? It always wants to come. When it gets further away, it tries to pull it back. It gets further away, it pulls it back. Further away, it pulls it back. Further away, it pulls it back. So that was the 5 moves right there, right? So what do you think is going to happen on this one? This is just the first one. So if this is the first one and we're going for the second and the third and the fourth, imagine how much higher we're about to go, guys. This is the first one. We might have 4 of those. Okay, so that's what it is. Do we have to fill the gap? It doesn't affect us if we don't fill it, and that's not always happened 100% of the time, but gaps in general do fill. So when we have gaps in the CME, like this one, they generally fill. Doesn't mean that we'll fill the whole thing all the way to the very bottom, but very likely we'll get down there and try to fill that 8,400. That's why people are saying 8,500. If you're asking, like, why are they saying 8,500? That's why. Why are they saying 8,800? This is also why, because there's a little bit of support there as well. So these are the reasons why people are saying those numbers. So you guys have some perspective of why people are saying those things, right? And so let's just look again over here and kind of bring everything together. Let's look at this chart here. So now we're going on to the daily chart. So this is on the day-by-day basis. Where is it going? And again, I want to show you why the Ichimoku is so effective on high time frames, because it follows the same patterns all the time. So think about the Kijun as a 50% retrace all the time. Think of the Kijun, which is this purple line, as the line of equilibrium, where there are the same amount of buyers and sellers in the market. Now, obviously, if there's too many sellers, it will pull down, and if there are too many buyers, it'll pull up. Well, generally, if it does that, eventually it's going to pull it back to the middle. So it's kind of that's what it is. And that's why you'll see, if you go on any chart and load the Ichimoku, guys, you're going to see that thing happen over and over again, which gives you a strategy. And if you follow it, you'll actually have more accuracy. This is really important. Yes, the famous 5th wave. Yes, we all know what that one was, Casey, right? So let's look at the daily here and look at where Bitcoin might go. Okay, so this is, we're going back to August 16, August of 16, right? So this is a long time ago. It's before probably any of you even were looking at crypto, because it was still, $500. And not many people were talking about Bitcoin when it was $500. I think when did I get in? Let's look. Oh, it doesn't have it on Coinbase. I'll look on Bitfinex later, but 2013, I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. So here we go. It pulled really far away, as we see right here, and then it pulls it back and touches the Kijun. We get up and we pull away, and then we touch the Kijun. Look at the corrections that we've had in the past. 35%. It gets up, it's up, far away from the Kijun, and goes and touches it. 40%. Look what it keeps happening. It gets up, and it gets pulled back, and guess what it does again? It touches the Kijun, 45, 44%. And then it gets up again, and it gets to the 10K, not all the way to Kijun, but very close, very close. And that was also a 40% correction. So what we see is a pattern that constantly over the time continues to repeat itself, because it's where buyers and where sellers meet in the middle. Okay, so that's what we need to really understand, and this is why I'm creating a course, so that all you guys will like literally look at the charts and go, oh, I'm not stressed out, it's okay, this is what's supposed to happen. So this is what's supposed to happen, guys. All right, that's why I'm not freaking out. That's why my heart's not racing. I'm just staying really calm and chill. And I think all of you need to do the same thing. Stay calm and chill. Look at it objectively. Could we go down all the way to 4,800? Yes, it's possible. Is it probable? Not very, but we all know Bitcoin and crypto. Are we, is another question, in a bull run? Yes, we definitely are. So that's what I'm saying. Do I have a template on TradingView set up? Yes, I do. This is one of my friends, Ali, made this Ichimoku, so you can see the TK crosses, whether they're bullish or bearish, green bullish, red bearish. Down here we have the WADA, which is also, it's a free indicator. It shows volumes, so you can see where the volume's coming in the market. And obviously when there's a lot of volume, it's a good thing. When there's a lot, and when there's a little bit of volume, it's bad because it doesn't really move very much. And we have big red bars of volume, well, we can see where those usually go. Okay, so the thing is, I'm trying to get you guys to understand that there's nothing really to worry about. Now here's what we're looking at now. We were very, very bearish all through this point of that year, right? All 2018. So we crossed up right around here at that 6,000 point on the daily. We were very bullish. Why people were talking about it. We closed here, and then we were moving up. So you can see all my arrows there from past. I'll delete those so you can see it clearer. But we can see that, you know, that's where we were going. So here's something that we need to also take in consideration. We had a TK cross and a Kumo breakout, so they were still looking good. But then we had this really, really nasty spinning top, and it didn't really do us very, very good on the weekly. This shooting star we had was really scary, and you know, it really looks weird compared to on BitMEX. But the whole thing is, when we had this candle, I thought we would go down, and it faked us out. And then we really had it come down last week. And now we're breaking below the cloud. And I do think we're coming to that 8,800, between 8,800 and 8,500 range. So keep your eyes up and ears open for that. Don't get freaked out. This is just normal stuff in the market. We're looking at it on the daily. We have pretty similar parameters, but here's something that I've also noticed on the daily. If I go to the daily and look at, let me just close that off. If I look at here on the daily, on Coinbase, it doesn't look so great. But let me show you something that I found quite interesting when I was looking at it today. I pulled up BitMEX, and look on BitMEX where it's sitting. And this red line is, it's a line of support actually. It should be green, but I don't usually use this one for, hold on a sec. So these lines are lines of support. We got it at 88. We got one at 10,000, right on the Kijun, basically right here. So we haven't really closed below it yet. So there's very likely that we do have a bounce on the hammer candle right here. That's a possibility. I just don't believe it yet. And if we look at volumes, the volumes are pretty low still. You know, it's still on a downtrend, the volume and the price actions on the downtrend. So I'm waiting to see a clear sign of reversal, whether it be, this is where the Kijun might go, it might come up. If it moves above this level, I might start looking at it, but I still feel that Bitcoin is not in a tradable spot right now, and you should definitely sit on the sidelines unless you know exactly what you're doing, okay? So let's jump into some of the questions some people had. Someone said my thoughts on ETH. Oh my goodness. We don't want to look at ETH right now, to be completely honest. It is looking real bad, and I'm not even trying to sugarcoat that. It just looks... It's never, let me just show you on a weekly perspective how bad this actually is. The last time ETH was at this level was in 2017, February 2017. So we had April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and then we had our like nice big pump in. Here's what I want to show you here. We have been on a perennial downtrend for months. For months and months and months, and against Bitcoin it looks very bleak. Okay, so when you look at this right here, 0.025 was like the real strong support right here. So you see that it hit it right here. Let me just draw a line of support, just give you a perspective on how strong this support was here. We had support 1, 2 touches, 3 touches, 4 touches, 5 touches, 6 touches, 7 touches. Now what do we have? Nothing. We have pretty much nothing. There is another line of support right around here, in this area right here. But then if it breaks that, like, we're just going to continue to fall until maybe here. It doesn't look good. I'm being completely honest. ETH looks in a bad spot. Now against USD, it's very similar, to be completely honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat that either. Questions. It bounced a few times under today, not for long, low volume. Yeah, Travis, you're right. It could bounce. It definitely could. And I'll show you where I'm thinking it could bounce. So we've had it testing the Tenkin on the weekly. The Kijun's still, like, it's still very bearish, right? Testing the Tenkin, right? And here's the thing: we had what we call a Tenkin break. So it broke below the Tenkin, and now we're looking to see where it goes next on ETH USD, right? It doesn't look good. Like, we had this nice run up, and now we're going under, and we're looking very bearish. The cloud is very bearish. We're looking potentially to do a TK cross, which would be positive. So it could come back, but I'm not very bullish on this coin at all right now. And like, if you look at the sentiment of traders that I'm friends with, they'll say similar stuff. Now, here's something interesting I missed. ETH literally touched the bottom of the cloud, which was the last line of support when it comes to Ichimoku. And it also bounced off of the 200 EMA. So where will we go? I think maybe we test the 200 EMA. If we can hold it, ETH is going to go down further. And here, let me show you something really sad. The only line of support after that, if it dropped below there, is around here, which is at 180. So I told people it would go under 200, about 180 the other day, but you guys may be not watching, and this is bleak. Okay, I'm not trying to be like a super Tone Vae type bear right now, but it's kind of weird that when Tone Vae became a bear and a bull, and Ian, who's a friend, said that he was going bull, that all of a sudden, like, within a day, everything started to fall. I was like, seriously, this can't be happening. But this is crypto, and you got to get used to it and not get emotional. Just look at the market, try to be objective as much as possible. Don't make the market tell you what you want it to tell you. So look at it and see what you're seeing. What I'm seeing right here is ETH looks very bad. It's not in a good position. Okay, Litecoin. Okay, I showed people Litecoin, what was going to happen with that, very likely. I think it was against USD on Coinbase. So let me just see if it's still there. Yeah, so here was my prediction. This is from months ago. So I thought we would get up here. We didn't get that high. Bitcoin started to run too much. So that's more than likely why we couldn't get up to the highs I was looking at. And then I thought it would come back down. The reality is I drew a better chart on BTC, I believe. That was a little bit more accurate. Is it here still? No, it's not here still. Okay, so what I thought would happen with Litecoin, I did update it. I don't know why it's not showing there. But I thought Litecoin would go up to around $180 when it was at 146. It looked like it could get there, but then Bitcoin started its rally. So realistically, that sell would have to come down to here. I was thinking, I think I changed this, but it didn't show. But as you guys see, we're looking for it to drop back down. We have a bearish TK cross on the daily. Okay, and we're down underneath, I believe, underneath the cloud right now. So we went way beyond. My first chart I drew of this, actually, I thought we were going to be at the, I thought we were going to be at the $70 range. So it's kind of almost where I thought, and there was a few reasons for that every single time in the past. So let's go to the last halving. I should have this also on here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, come on. I did have this here, I swear, I promise, guys. For some reason it's not there anymore. But our last halving that we had, maybe it's on Bitfinex. Hold on. Maybe that's why. Bitfinex. No, that's longs. Hold on. Sorry, guys. USD. Where's Bitfinex? There we go. Okay, so let me see if I have it on Bitfinex still. There. Yes, so I did have it still. Perfect. All right, so let me just zoom in and I'll show you what I saw. So the last time we had a happening, this was, I marked this 45 days before, 44 days before. Look at where we had happen. We dropped a total of, I think it was like 60%. Went a little bit up right before the halving and then dropped even more, or sorry, went up, dropped even more, and then stayed super stagnant for quite a long time. Look how sideways that is for a very, very long time. And then it wasn't for like almost a year that we actually got above $4. Like it was a really long time. And then March 2017 happened and we all know where that went after, right? So that's the one side. Now, let me see if I actually still have it for Bitfinex. What I drew in the over here. Yes, perfect. Okay, so I did do it again. I'm not wrong. All right, this is what I thought was gonna happen with Bitfinex. You guys can see this here. So I drew that we'd probably get up to, I redid my analysis and thought, okay, we probably get on like a head and shoulders type pattern, which actually we did. It's kind of funny. If you look at this, we had almost head and shoulders, but it was failed because the neckline was lower, but it looked very much like I thought we were going to have something like that. Now look at where we're at. I said we would probably come down to $75, $76, and we're well on the way. And the reason is there's some support right around there. As you can see on the chart right around here, there's a ton of support. So if we look at it from this perspective, that's why I said that. Does that mean we could go lower? Sure, we definitely could. So keep that in mind as well. XRP, let's see. Wax is a really interesting one. I know Novogratz loves that. Yes, Wax. Novogratz really likes this one. And here's the thing, like any altcoin I show you guys right now would not be something I would be buying, to be completely honest. Look at them all. Look. Our Kijun is super far away, which means we could pull back. This is another thing you have to remember, that when we have a Kijun, our Kijun likes, everything goes up. So when I showed you with Bitcoin, it tries to pull it back down. This is going to pull it back up. When I don't know, we still have the Chiku span right here. This blue line is bearish. We had a bearish TK cross. We have the cloud went from green to red, which means it's bearish as well. There's a lot of bear. There's nothing really good to say about it. So that's just the reality of that. XRP, the same thing I've been saying for a really long time. I hope that you guys have been listening because I want you guys all to succeed. And I said on the US dollar, it would get to 50 cents and it would drop. And I mean, anyone who's here that knows, any of you guys that know who've been watching my stuff for a while, I've been saying this in my private group and in this, we would hit 50 cents and drop. And look where we hit. We literally hit, our top was 51 cents on the dot. Then what happened? Drop. And I said, wait for November, October, November. Around this time, I'm going to mark it on this chart just so that we can come back to it in a few months and see if see the accuracy of it. But around this time, around this October 28th or so, we're going to hit this price. We're going to start to rise a lot. Bitcoin will start to rise a lot. And by the end of the year, I believe XRP could be over $1 again, if not $2. Very possible. So just keep that in mind, all right? So XRP looks okay against the US dollar. It hasn't really gone up and on down. It's the worst performing asset on all the crypto market. That's top 20 coin. So that's also something to keep in mind. But let's look at it on another exchange like Coinbase. So here we see it came on to Coinbase, nothing but downward spiral from there. If we look at XRP BTC on Binance, same thing. And so like I said, Bitcoin crushed it pretty low. I mean, there is some support down here at 1,300 sats. But remember when it was like 11,000 and was 8,000 for a while, 9,000 and just dropped? And this is Bitcoin. It didn't really kill the price. OMG is an interesting one. I dumped my OMG recently, actually. I don't think it's going to do very well. And here's why. It's used in Thailand already, but no one cares. And their team was kind of strange. Not trying to bag on anyone or anything. Their team's kind of a weirder team than out of the people I've met. They seem kind of like awkward. Maybe it's because they're devs. I don't know. But it was a really more awkward experience of the teams that I've met. And like, look at this thing, man. It's just super bearish on the daily. We go down the 4 hour. It's super bearish on the 4 hour. It's touching the 200 EMA as a line of resistance actually right now. Touch the line, touch the line, touch the line, touch. Now it really dropped. It's not looking good for OMG. It's 149 sats. Like, Ouch. So I wish I could give you guys more positive news at this point, but there really isn't for alts at this point. Like you guys all know, you've been watching alts, they're not doing well. Even Bitcoin right now is not doing well and is dragging alts down. Digibyte's another one I did last week. Let's see how it's doing this week. I heard it was a little bit of a pump on it, but yeah, it was going for that edge to edge. I can see on the 4 hour. Was trying for it. Bitcoin pumped it, popped it back down to this. This is a really strong support. If you can see it right here, that's a huge line of support. So I mean, it could touch that again for sure. Like look where it's at. So we can touch that again. See, it pulled it all the way back to the Kijun again here. Let's look on the daily what it looked like. Yeah, so it's got a lot of pulling back up to get to there. It needs to come back to this Kijun. So I don't know when that's gonna happen. We need to wait for price action and volume, really. Okay, so that's another thing. Now, VeChain, really good, important one. A project that I really like, but a project that is seeing a very solemn death in terms of price action. It hasn't done anything. It's all these great partnerships, fundamentals, everything, not doing anything. Will this be one of those assets that will probably outperform the other ones in once the market really turns bullish? If we have an alt season, very likely, very likely. So that's it. Hey everybody, just watch live. Seems informative. So here's all I gotta say at the end. I'm just gonna let you guys go because it seems like it's been taking a long time. I don't want to go any more than 40 minutes, and we have a couple minutes left. I'll do one more coin. Someone asked for Icon, and I'm gonna go. And then you guys will. Before I do that, we're gonna have a quick draw for who wins the competition for a free month of Athena. This looks very much like Digibyte. Same type of deal. Trying to get back. ICX has not done very much, and I mean, look at from the top how much it's dropped. I mean, if we got back to the top, we need to climb 30x. Yeah, that should be telling enough as it is, right? So yeah, I did not think we would see below 10k again. That's why you see it, Casey. Every time you think we're never going to hit 5 figures again, we will, or 4 figures again, we will. Every time we think that, and that's why we take profit, because it's crypto. NPXS, this is interesting you say that. NPXS Pundi just had a huge development where you can actually pay with crypto anywhere. I think if it gets to 5 sats again, I'm gonna buy it, because if it goes from 5 to 6 sats, easy profit. Just something to think about. If you set an order at 5 and it fills and it goes to 10, you double your profit. So you put $1,000, it'll turn to 2 just by going to 10 sats again. And 10 sats is really not that high. I mean, it's just there. We had it at one point at 90 sats. So just keep that in mind, that Pundi is not going to get to 90 sats again, I don't think. But to get back to 10 or 15, it was there in January. It was in May. It was there. So it's possible. Anything's possible at this point. Okay. Now, last but not least, let's pick our name winner from this week, and we'll go. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, or you're not watching on YouTube, get on YouTube, watch this again, or just watch a piece of it. Make a comment in the YouTube box, whether it's what you want me to talk about next time, anything you guys in terms of projects, anything you would like in terms of coins to be done an analysis on Friday. I will be doing them, and I might do some stuff about that. How about KBC? Yeah, JJ. Still not a fan. Okay, so let's turn on the ticker here and see what we get. And the winner is XRP Mafia. Okay, whoever XRP Mafia is on YouTube, you will win a free month of using the Athena Trading Bot. So do hit me up. And if you guys don't know, on Telegram, it is at Coach K Crypto. On Twitter, Coach K Crypto. Add me, guys. Hit me up. We'll see you soon. And thanks everyone for your time today. I'll see you guys later. Remember, on Friday we'll be back. Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to show you guys one other really cool thing of how to use the new Mu Connect and everything else. So have yourselves a great day. Monday, don't worry, I showed you why you shouldn't. And if you missed it, just rewind and look back. Have a good day, everybody. Coach K signing out.